let's go over this. Let's start by going over what has happened, right? Evo Championship Series acquired by Sony and RTS to hold online event in August. This is probably the worst news I could have read yesterday. Absolutely, this crushed me more than anything else. So as you can see, I've been to Evo. Been a fan of Evo for a long time. I love Evolution. And I don't have a problem with Sony buying them out. I'll get into that more later. But the reason why this hurt me so much is because I've been telling people for the longest time, I said we need to buckle down and just kind of assume that the way the world is right now with the COVID and the lockdowns and just the rioting, they're just shooting people at massage parlors and shit, right? People are going to be less inclined for large public gatherings for a long fucking time. And my hope was I wanted to look at the year 2021, right? This year. If the lockdowns open up and we can start getting back to playing fighting games offline, maybe Evo will come back. Maybe Evo will come back next year, but maybe offline will come back this year, right? People are getting vaccinated. Lockdowns are opening up around the world. It seems like the worst has passed. And when I saw this announcement, this is when my heart sank. Online event in August. So I'm not let down so much by Sony buying out Evolution. I mean, I figured that someone was going to. I thought that was just whatever. But those words, it's March, right? April, May, June, July, August. 5 months from right now, they're going to have an online event. Which means that offline is probably not coming back for the rest of the year. That's what I'm let down by. I've said time and time again, I don't really care for online play. I don't care for online results. I don't care if you won an online tournament. I don't care if you've beat me online. The only thing that matters is beating someone in person. That's our culture. That's our lifestyle. That's our motto. That's what we believe in. Beat their ass offline. No gimmicks, no lag, no bullshit. And it looks like that's not coming back anytime soon. And when you're at the position where I'm at, I wanted nothing more than to compete at my best. Right? I just wanted, I'm not young, but I'm not old. I'm at that age where I feel like I can still go, I can still compete if I put in the effort and go hard. And this just literally tells me, no, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter how much effort you put into. Online is what's going to be the future. And you either suck it up and, learn to live with and accept that, or you just sit there and be a bitter old man, right? You just be the old guy that's sitting there yelling oh, the goddamn kids with their online. In my day, we fought offline, right? The world is changing. It's moving to a new place. And I feel like I am not invited to that party. Because what I want doesn't look like it's ever coming back. Now, maybe they're announcing this event in August because it's okay, pandemic, right? We don't know what things are going to look like. Let's play it safe. Let's have an online event in August and then touch and go from there. But it doesn't fill me with hope. It doesn't fill me with hope that offline is coming back. And that really bothers me. Because, if offline doesn't come back, I don't know that I would ever want to fuck with fighting games again. Like, I hate playing online. It's why I've started doing like the beef set league and all that, because I hate playing online. Like, if I could just not do it, I would not do it. If I could ignore online entirely, I would ignore online. For the entirety of the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era, right? The era where I actually went and competed at EVO. I never even paid for Xbox Live PS3 was free, right, online, but I never played any fighting game online. Never. And that was when I was at like my prime, when I was like killing it. When I was building my name in like the Wednesday night fight scene and all that. I never played online. I refused. I was like, fuck that shit, dude. Online is for trash bag players that fucking suck. And I still believe that. If you play online, you're a trash bag player that fucking sucks, right? I always believe, and I never. And it just, with Mortal Kombat 11, it was like my last hurrah. It was like, yo, man, I'm going to try and like really make a push and really get good at this game and really try to make something of it and try and kill it in the offline scene, man. I'm going to travel to fucking Combo Breaker. I'm going to CEO. I'm going to do all that. And then that just didn't happen. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. And now I feel like the boat has passed me by now, right? Like my window of being competitive may be over. And that's like the existential crisis I'm having, because when offline comes back, the game that I specialize in may not be relevant. Like Mortal Kombat 11 may be dead. Injustice 3 or fucking whatever. Marvel vs. Capcom, whatever. NetherRealm game comes out. MK11 gets thrown to the wayside. That's my game. That's my specialty. And now I have to build up from the bottom up with a new game, knowing that there may not ever be offline competition again. And it's like, do I want to spend another 10,000 hours or whatever trying to get good at the new fighting game, knowing that I won't be able to compete offline? I will have to deal with online. This could kill the genre. I feel like this right here, not bring like it, and people that say that it's not true, I can't agree with that, because Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, that's a dead game, and it's a game people like, and it's a game people love and want to play, and it's dead. Why? Offline, right, is gone, and it only had delay netcode, right, and yeah, you could add rollback, and rollback is great, but rollback doesn't solve the problem with online. It's a band-aid fix. Your best bet is still to play offline. And so I've watched other games, good games, quality games, just die because their community was all offline. And I can see the entire genre going that way. Right now, there's this hope within the community of like, oh, if they add rollback, right? So Guilty Gear is going to have rollback. Maybe they put it in Dragon Ball. Maybe they put it in Tekken. I don't think rollback is going to save the genre. Rollback is a band-aid fix, right? Because people that have played those games that have never played on rollback don't know that rollback is not like, it's not this miracle that solves the online issues. It just makes them more tolerable. See, I've been playing MK11 for the past 2 years, and I know what quality rollback is, and even I say it's not the answer. It's not. It doesn't fix online. It band-aids it. So like that's my concern with the Evo being bought out by Sony, is like it going online and it just kind of being disheartening knowing that offline isn't coming back. As far as my opinions on it being bought out by Sony, I don't have an opinion on that. I think it's going to suck for the Killer Instinct and Smash communities, because they're saying that they will allow those consoles and games to be played at EVO, but I mean, corporations say a bunch of shit all the time, right? They say a bunch of shit and then they just don't do it. And then by then it's too late. I mean, they could have a whole phase out plan, right? We're going to allow fucking Smash Brothers and then we're going to slowly phase them out until there's no Smash Brothers. And it's all because they didn't buy Evo to like put the fighting game community on the map. They bought Evo because fighting game tournaments are a good advertising venue, right? It's a good way to advertise. So Evo exists now to sell PlayStations. That is the purpose of Evolution. It is not to push the fighting game community and genre forward. Evolution exists to sell PlayStations. Now, granted, giving good support to the fighting game community, right? Supporting tournaments, having good Evos, quality matches, quality events. Those help sell PlayStations, right? If people have a good experience with Evolution, they'd probably be more likely to be involved in other aspects. They'll buy the PlayStation, they'll buy the games, right? Again, it is a marketing tool. So I don't see that as like a net positive or negative, because Sony injecting money into the community will definitely help, but it will help games that are on PlayStation. And now there's no centralized place that's not owned by a console manufacturer. People are talking about CEO, they're talking about Combo Breaker, talking about, fucking whatever other tournaments. But one of the things that those tournaments had a hard time catching up to Evo with is like CEO is held in Florida, which is cool, right? But like, it's not Vegas. Combo Breaker's held in Chicago. There's no reason to go to Chicago unless you're going for Combo Breaker. Evolution was held in Vegas, and that was the thing that was cool. It was like I can go to Evolution and do the tournament, and that's fun, but I'm also in Vegas, so that's awesome, right? Now it's like our big Super Bowl would be Combo Breaker in Chicago, and it's like, oh sweet, I'm gonna go to Combo Breaker, and then I'm going to be in Chicago, so maybe I'll hit like a local bar or something. It's not Vegas, right? I'm not shitting on Chicago, but Chicago's not Vegas, right? Like, I come from Southern California. I'm 2 hours from Los Angeles. I literally can drive. I could cut the stream right now, and in a couple hours, restart the stream literally from downtown Hollywood. Like, I can do that. And even I'm saying, like, dude, Hollywood, it's not fucking Vegas, man. It's not Vegas, right? Part of the appeal of Evo was that it was fighting game tournaments and it was Vegas, and that was fucking cool. So now that centralized location, like Evo will probably still exist. It will probably still be in Vegas if online ever comes back, right? But like now it's no longer the community hub in Vegas. It's Sony's hub in Vegas. So what's going to be the rallying point for the community? Will the community splinter, right? Will it just kind of splinter and fade away and become basically this corporate entity that is Sony Evo, right? Like, is the grassroots going to die? It scares me. I think Sony buying Evo, though, was like, somebody was going to, right? Evo was a dead brand. It was a fucking bad name, right? After what happened with Mr. Wizard and all of the pedo shit, right? Evo was like a toxic brand. You didn't want to be associated with it because then you would associate with Mr. Wizard. The Cannon brothers and the rest of the Evo staff took over and tried to right the ship, and I believe that this is what they feel will be the best direction for the company. But the Cannon brothers work for Riot Games, right? They invented Evolution, or they co-invented it, and they invented GGPO, which is the top rollback netcode in most fighting games. And now they work at Riot, and they're working on the League of Legends fighting game. So, like, the holy trinity of Evo was Mr. Wizard and the Cannon brothers. Mr. Wizard's out, and the Cannon brothers are kind of busy doing other shit. They don't really have necessarily the time to run Evolution. So without Mr. Wizard, who was going to fucking keep Evolution afloat? I figured, all right, man, they were probably going to sell their assets. They were probably going to cut their losses and sell off Evo to somebody. I figured it was only a matter of time, and I figured it was either going to be Sony, Microsoft, or Capcom, or Namco buying it, right? One of those four companies was probably going to buy Evo, and that was like it. And so when Sony bought it, I wasn't surprised. I was like, Sony bought it. I figured as much. I figured they probably would. But it just kind of, it feels like the end of an era. You know, it feels like, God, man, like The good times we had are gone. Like Evo's not going to be the same. Maybe something will rise to take the place of what Evo was, but what Evo is will not be the same as what Evo was, right? And what Evo becomes may be better, right? I'm not shitting on Sony. Sony may make this the best fucking thing ever. But I'm just saying, as an old man who is slowly watching everything I love turn to dust, it is kind of heartbreaking to see the end of that era. The next era may be better. I'm not saying it won't. But that era behind us was fucking good. It was damn fucking good. And I'm sad that that era is over. The new era is the era of online matters more than offline. And Evo is owned by a multinational, faceless, billion-dollar corporation and not by the community that loved and supported this genre through the dark ages. It was, the multinational corporations that kind of turned their back on fighting games and our community. And it wasn't until we rose up, right? The community built Evo. Battle by the Bay, right? The community built Evo. We rose up from the ashes and rebuilt this whole thing, this juggernaut of fighting games. And now the community no longer has a hand in the direction that will go. Sony decides the direction of Evo. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'm pretty depressed. It's definitely making me question whether or not I want to continue doing anything with fighting games going forward. Just because, again, what I love about fighting games doesn't seem to be what matters about fighting games anymore. And I'm having a hard time dealing with that. But let me know what you guys think. All right? Like, comment. The chat is kind of dead today, right? And the YouTube chat maybe the YouTube chat. You guys tell me what's up. But let's just hope. Let's just hope that this is like the best thing for us all and that things end up being better, because it's pretty depressing. Like, comment, subscribe, and fuck your mom.